story is a little bit about a little different identity crisis. I was raised in a very conservative, Protestant ethic home, and the only time alcohol appeared in my house was on late night TV. So I was curious about it, and wanted to try it, but I never had the opportunity until I got to college. So the first thing I did in college was, of course, look for a party fraternity. And I used what I called the Monday morning porch survey. And that's when on a Monday morning, you walk down fraternity row and you count how many empty beer kegs are on the front porch. The more the better. And I also used the couch parameter, and that's where you count how many couches are on the front porch. One couch is good, two's better, three or more is a party fraternity, especially if one of the couches is on the front lawn. So using this method, I picked up a fraternity and I pledged it. And the culmination of the pledging process was a big party on homecoming weekend in October. And that was the same night as a concert was on campus, and I really wanted to see. It was a band called Vanilla Fudge. Now, Vanilla Fudge, if you're not familiar with it, was a acid power rock / soul band that had a big hit in the late 60s called You Keep Me Hanging On. And I really wanted to see them. But the fraternity party won out. So I went to the fraternity party and not the concert. And I'm glad I did, because it was a great party. A whole bunch of sororities came over and joined in. And they even fixed the pinball machines so that you could play it for free. And there was a band in the basement, and it was a great party. I met a really cute girl, and together we examined all the different parameters of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. And after partway through the evening, she said, "Let's go back and take a look at your dorm room." And I said, "Okay." So we kind of staggered out of the fraternity and headed across campus. And we came up to the quad. The quad is a big grassy area where there's all four sides are dormitories looking over the quad. And we were holding on to each other and escorting ourselves across the quad. And coming the other way from my dormitory were four people, and they looked kind of familiar. And as they got closer and closer, I recognized them. It was my parents and my younger brother and a girl. No, that's not the identity crisis. It gets worse. So I turned to my date and I said, "That's my parents." So we tried to sober up real quick and walk erect and soldier on. We couldn't turn around or leave. We were already revealed. And we met in the middle of the quad, and with my most professional voice, I said, "Hi, what are you doing here?" And my mother said that my younger brother really wanted to see Vanilla Fudge, and he couldn't drive. So, and my parents, they said they go to the symphony, they like concerts. So they went too. And all four of them sat and watched the Vanilla Fudge concert. And that was a tough image for me to picture. Dad was wearing a jacket and tie, and Mother was wearing a dress. So I had to ask him, "How did you like the concert?" And Mother said, "Well, it's not really our kind of music." So it came time to make the introductions. So I turned to my date and I said, "Mother and Dad, I'd like you to meet." Oops. So I backed up and tried again. "Mother and Dad, I'd like you to meet." I couldn't remember her name. That's an identity crisis. Finally, I faced facts and I said, "I'm sorry, what was your name again?" Now, it didn't happen, but it felt like every single window and every single dormitory flew up and every student leaned out and said, "What an idiot." I was surprised my parents didn't say it. Fortunately, they realized exactly what was going on, and they realized how awkward and embarrassing the situation was. So after my date quietly muttered her name, my parents introduced themselves. They said, "Hope you have a lovely evening. We got to get going," and they left. Now, after that incident, the evening got very, very quiet. We did go to my dorm. I showed her the room. She said, I want to go back. I went back to the fraternity, never saw her again. So that whole event gave me a new appreciation for my parents. They never, ever mentioned it to me. They never brought it up. They let me stay in school. They let me pledge that fraternity. I think they realized that the embarrassment and awkwardness of that situation was punishment enough for my overindulgence. And they were right. I mean, to this day, my rule of thumb is I don't drink alcohol if vanilla fudge is in town. Thank you.
Tom, everybody.